Alright, hey there groovy dudes and dudettes, this is Stomper B. Compton, and this is a 6-hour Ironman race that I am partaking in. It's my first attempt ever at an Ironman race, so I'm pretty stoked at the beginning of this. This is a Laps for Lungs event. It's a team race to benefit Cystic Fibrosis, so this is put on by the BCHSS crew, but it does... Obviously, this does not count towards the championship points earning. This is purely a charity race, a fun event, and it's just meant to have a good time and raise money for a good cause. So I was super happy to participate in this. It's held down in Floyd, Virginia, Southwest Virginia. And again, I'm doing the Ironman. There's 26 of us running in this class. They got all the Ironman racers on the front line. We got everybody from
Ray's coming around the corner with the flag.
C-class riders all the way up to AA riders.
For lungs, fundraisers, here we go. 10 seconds.
And everybody in between. So, 6 hours of racing, not trying to get a whole shot. I know I got a long ways to go. These laps are approximately 10 miles long, and just due to track conditions deteriorating over the course of the day, they did end up cutting out a couple of sections that totals maybe 300 meters total. So the laps stayed pretty long the whole race. So I'm hydrated, we're diving in, I'm pretty stoked. I really don't know how to pace myself too much. I just kind of figure I ride hard where I can, kind of don't push it 100%. And take a little bit less risk than I would in a traditional hour and a half, 2-hour hare scramble. But this course was phenomenal. Every rider I spoke to complimented the course. It had a little bit of everything. Some open grass track, some jumps, tight woods, open flowy woods. This is my first time on this particular hill climb on lap 1, and it's not very chewed out at all right now. But this spot really deteriorates over the course of the track, or over the course of the race. I end up calling this hill my nemesis because for whatever reason, it just had my number all day. It wasn't a terribly difficult hill climb at all. So coming up here, look ahead of my front tire, there's a little squirrel that tries to go kamikaze on me. There he goes! But what you don't see is he ran out in front of my tire, got about 1 foot away from it, then he beelined back to the side of the trail, and then immediately came right back out. So I almost hit him twice. So this is one of the hill climbs that got cut out. Lap 1, you don't know what's coming around the corner after that bridge. This thing surprised a lot of folks, myself included. So I made it about halfway up, 2/3 of the way up on the left side of this. And I just didn't make it. It's probably in the wrong gear, something like that. I think most people definitely struggled with this hill, but a couple of riders made it up without issue. So I figure I'm stuck anyways. I see this person struggling, I'll just go help them out. We're out here for 6 hours. Well, those of us in the Ironman race. She was actually a really good rider.
Oh, you?
She definitely passed me.
Like what I'm doing here? Put your rear tire up against that tree.
She ended up making it out of there, no problem. And she ends up passing me too, but I think she had some clutch issues later because I thought I saw her pushing her bike. I think she fried the clutch on it or something on one of the more technical uphills. with these like drop down steps, and oh man. Nothing like hitting your first section of open grass track where you can open it up. I love that feeling. I think everybody else loves that too. It's impossible not to like that, right? Here's another section they ended up cutting out. We have this pretty simple creek crossing there. That gets pretty muddy and chewed out, but somewhat of a technical hill climb here. I could see how after several riders, or several hours of many riders, that hill climb would get pretty messed up. But all you do is you run up the hill, then you kind of horseshoe around, and you just descend right back down to basically where we started from there. So it's only cutting out maybe a couple 100 meters or so. In fact, this might have been the first section that was cut out. Here's one of the first major river crossings that we had. They had these metal ramps that were really helpful if you actually hit them. Not too much farther after that, we had the longer section of creek crossing here. Luckily it was a sunny day and the water was clear, so you could see any major boulders in the water. Yeah, I mean, that was my biggest fear, was hitting one of those, laying the bike down, filter side down or something. But notice how clean that exit is. There's lots of pebbles and rocks, and the dirt is nice and smooth, and pretty dry. Not too bad. It gets way chewed up later in the race. But this hill's shortly after that river crossing, and I'm doing it in third gear here. And much later in the course, I finally start hitting that fourth. As you go lap after lap, you just finally start seeing what lines are better, where the little boulders are. So you can go much faster through sections like this. Again, I'm a C-class rider and not a great one, so, you know, I doubt any AA riders are watching this far into the video. But hey, this is my first time ever doing an Ironman, and I have fallen in love with these types of races. I really like the long distance endurance type stuff. I used to be a trail runner before some Achilles injuries. Loved racing like half marathons through the woods and stuff. So that was Keith Hertzler. I got the pleasure of meeting him the weekend before this race. He hosted at his property a riding clinic that was put on by the pro national enduro rider Patty Holloway. And Keith was just an awesome guy. He welcomed in onto his property where he had a little moto track and a nice woods track. It really gave Patty a great just platform to give his instruction to us. And Keith also hooked us up with delicious barbecue lunch on the house. And in fact, one of the riders had a mechanical failure in the beginning of the training day, so Keith loaned his own bike to him for the whole day, let him just rip on it. He was just a really nice guy, and I'm really happy to have met him. So after this little grass track section, this is still lap 1, so I'm taking these jumps easy, feeling them out. I'm also getting used to jumping and stuff, but from going fourth gear into that grassy section, you just dive right into this pretty steep uphill in the shade. Out of the sun, into the shade, out of the fast, into the slow technical. That was just a cool transition. So here is attempt number 2 at that one hill climb. After this, the course marshals there, they finally blocked it off, but I take the right hand line and I almost make it up. Oh, not quite. I want another attempt at that hill so bad. I'm just having trouble finding traction here. Gotta get my bike in a good spot where I can grip dirt for just a half a second and get moving. Oh, this part's painful to rewatch. So coming up here, after we descend into this open grassy section, I hear these two riders coming up behind me real fast, and I didn't get out of the way quick enough. Normally I hear them coming, I get out of the way and let them pass. Well, I heard them coming too late, and I made a poor decision, which ended up putting me in the way a little bit, and one of the riders bumps into me pretty good. But watch how angry he gets. And watch what he throws me right here.
Hey, yeah. Hey, sorry for getting in your way, buddy.
Come on, guy. Like, I'm pretty sure that was a AA rider, if I saw correctly. And my goodness, you know what? I'm a beginner C rider. I may not ever be as good as you are on a bike, but I'll tell you what, I'll never treat other riders like that, especially at a charity event where there's nothing on the line. But put that behind me. I got hills to climb awkwardly. More grass track. Love this stuff. I was really slow. Where is it? Right here. That's in the shade now. So my battery dies a little bit later, but that jump that I just hit back there very softly, this AA rider comes flying around me on this corner, and I had a front row seat to watch him hit that jump in what had to be fourth gear. He was hauling, and he goes rocketing off this jump. It was the coolest thing, but my battery was dead. I didn't catch it. I was so bummed. But that was one of the coolest spots of the whole day, was watching that guy right in front of me just full send it off that thing. I was a little nervous on these jumps. Again, I got a lot more practice to do on jumping. Body position, throttle control, suspension setup, everything. But I'm really enjoying it. That one was a little trickier. It was a little bit of a steeper launch. So here's that fast section. And then you just shoot right up into this more technical stuff. Really cool. One more little quick section before diving back into the woods. Got this last woods sections before I complete lap 2. So this is lap 3. I have yet to pit. Again, the laps are about 10 miles long or so. And this is just a good example of one of the many descents that we had. So I'm taking these really slow. I'm not trying to wipe out on a downhill. I'm still working on getting faster on those, but we did have really good dirt conditions, I would say. Everything was pretty darn grippy. So here's crossing the river for the third time. I forget if I've said it already, but I did 8 laps. Look how good this exit is still. Still pretty dry, not very chewed up. That changes pretty drastically over the next few laps. Little bit more grass track. I just love those jumps. I hit every single one. I hit some pretty good for me, and I hit some pretty bad. A couple close calls, but that's how you get better, right? And this turn was pretty cool. Kind of an off-camber, sweeping left turn. I really got to get more up on that front seat and let that front tire dig in a bit more. So I kept this spot in here. I feel like this is just a part where I can really improve. So this isn't ultra technical. There's no chewed out ruts or nothing. This is just one spot I feel like I could be a little bit faster. Those A riders are hauling through here, so I think it's just a mix of standing up more and just really being keeping my eyes downhill, down the track, so I can better anticipate turns 2 and 3 rather than the next turn. So here I complete lap 3, and I'm going to head into the pits to go gas up, refill my hydration pack, chug a Gatorade, and then just hit the trail again. I tried to keep the pits short. They were about 6 or so minutes apiece from exiting the track to re-entering the track. So unfortunately, I failed to change out my GoPro battery, so I missed all of laps 4, 5, and 6. And those were some of my better laps for sure. But here we are, lap 7, final 2 laps, and I'm still feeling pretty good. Still feeling pretty good. Just getting back into the flow after being in that pit. So now I'm about, I don't know, almost 5 hours in at this point. These downhills just get tired, but they're a lot of fun. They demand all your attention, at least mine. Here's another cool hill climb. Once I figured out the best line through there, which was a little tricky, there were some small boulders through there. Finally got her into just 3rd gear and got up this section pretty good. Probably one of my better passes through this section. Definitely another area where I can pick up a few seconds if I'm looking down the trail or standing up and pointing my hips where I need to go, all that stuff. Here's one of the steeper hill climbs, and I get passed by a rider up on the right-hand side. This is probably the best pass of the race. Oh, left side. He just came out of nowhere. He or she, I don't know, came out of nowhere, flying right past me. And then I'm so tired, I just decide to layer it out. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Let's just blame it on a root. This is a really cool spot. These beautiful pine trees just pop her in 3rd, stand up and kind of flow through them. Really pretty through there. Section has been passed through this barn. That's pretty cool. Some of my faster riding through there. Again, we were out here for several hours, so I'm cutting out a lot of the boring stuff. Oh yeah, so I let this person pass. But again, I'm pretty tired, so I'm like, alright, I need a water break. Boom! I'll just sit down here and have some water. I no idea. No idea how that happened. Oh, watch that. So I almost lose it. Right there. But these spectators are pretty cool. Woo! Cheering me on. Yeah. So my 7th time through that part, this part starts to get real sloppy. Real sloppy. Made it for a little fun turn that spits you out right in front of this little jump. And so I wish I had another couple goes at this hill. I only ever hit it in 3rd gear. You can see it's getting a little bit bumpier and chewed out, but I needed to enter it a little faster in 4th gear because there was definitely a couple people going quite a bit faster up that, and I feel like I could have too. Just stand up, let the bike dance beneath you. After you pass that really, really cool cabin in the middle of the woods, you can just dive right up into another little similar uphill. Getting chewed out a little bit makes it more fun, that's for sure. And then it finishes off with a little uphill where I almost lose it there. The dirt softens up quite a bit because it's in the shade. This might be my last little section of jumps. These parts are just so much fun. Ooh, kicked down back tire first there.
Woo, took that turn bad.
Another little tight, flowy section. It's probably 2/3 of the way through the 7th lap. Pretty tight, banging bars a little bit here and there. Almost losing it. And this was
Hey, you okay? Need help? Need help? Okay, yeah, let me park and help you.
This was a tricky section. You could go left or right around that big stump. Neither one was super easy. Especially if you
Here, I'll help push you.
didn't see it coming.
Make sure she don't tip over. 1, 2, 3. I got the bike. The back fender.
So I helped this kiddo get up.
Let's see here.
Nice gas.
Why don't you grab this clutch and steer? I'm gonna hold and give her a hefty push forward.
So his rear fender was caught up on that tree somehow.
1, 2, 3. Thank you. Yeah, that's for you.
But hey, we're out here to have fun. Charity event. Help each other out.
Yeah, man.
Have a good time. There's no points. So here I am, finishing up the 7th lap.
That's it?
Got 30 minutes left.
Holy crap, okay.
I was hoping she'd say, well, that's it for you, buddy. You have to stop. But she didn't. And I'm like, oh, gosh, okay. But once I decided, got to do this 8th lap, well, you just got to do the 8th lap. I started laughing at myself here. I knew that was coming.
Oh, I crashed here like 3 times.
I had already crashed there in the exact same spot doing the exact same thing. It was just a weird turn that I was tired. Whatever. So here's my nemesis hill. One more time. I will defeat you. I'm looking at it too. No, you're right. That doesn't look very technical at all. But for some reason, this hill just had my number. It caught me a couple times.
Ah, my last lap. I finally take the right line.
And I had exited that little hill section on the wrong side every single time before that. So it felt good to actually do it right. You make these mental notes as you go, like, oh, on this hill, take this right line. But then you get there and you do it the wrong way. So this was one of the more technical sections, I would say. You got some tight trees there. And this was probably the best I hit it all day, which, you know, ain't that great, but I'll take it. 8th lap. My 8th lap, I was totally exhausted. And the elbows were starting to hurt quite a bit, but for whatever reason, I put down one of my better times. This downhill was just long and straight. This was an elbow burner. So I'm standing up, squeezing the bike, using a lot of front brake. Just trying not to go down. The dirt really loosened up in spots, so sliding a little bit here and there. I'm just trying to keep her on 2 wheels. Try to keep her on 2 wheels. And here's the last river crossing. Now this part's shaded, which made it a lot harder to see the larger rocks underneath the water, but look how rutted out this is now. You really had to pick a line exiting out of there. And this turn got really rutted as well. I got stuck there once before. Ugh. I know I'm close to the finish. But here's how chewed out it gets. Look at these roots on this uphill. So, and those are kind of like ice, right? I mean, you can't really spin the tire up those. You're going nowhere. I'm tired. I'm riding sloppy. I'm riding filthy. I'm riding dirty. Last chance to open it up just a tad. We got this final woods section, which was actually really nice. It was a bit more flowy than some of the other wood sections up here on this side of the farm. But I got one more little trick up my sleeve here. Find this nice left-hand turn, channel my inner Tony Hawk and do a killer 180. Totally on purpose. Totally on purpose. Yeah, there's the end of that lap 8. 2 pits, about 7 minutes apiece, give or take. 6 hours and 7 minutes of riding. 8 laps complete. Thanks for watching, everybody.